Thank you, John Paul Sonko, and good evening to you, our dear viewers. Thank you for watching Business Today. My name is Ronah Nahabwe, and today we have a guest, one Robert MUGABE, who is going to help us digest the issues of insolvency and liquidation. Now, insolvency is the inability of an individual or a corporate company to fail to pay their dues when they fall due. Now, we have learned, many people might not even know what this means. We have seen companies like NACMAT, UTL, Crane Bank, leave and exit just because they went bankrupt and they announced their bankruptcy. So today we want to understand some of the salient features in the insolvency law and what we need to know about it. How do we even arrive to it?
Thank you. Yeah, like you've rightly said, insolvency relates to companies failing to meet their financial obligations. You could be in business and tomorrow you are not able to pay your creditors. And eventually that inability leads you to insolvency. But we also have the other part where the individual, the person, me or you, fails to pay and they end up into bankruptcy. So those two go together, insolvency and bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the law on insolvency is not necessarily new. Under the Companies Act previously, matters of the Companies Act, of companies were taken together with the insolvency issues. So over time there has been an evolution of the law, and the insolvency matters have been removed from the Companies Act to
Now,
make two
as the
separate
director
areas.
of insolvency at URSB, I believe that you have the expertise or you are an expert in this. If the law is there, the insolvency law is there, and the insolvency practitioners, we see the judges are being trained on how best they can, equip themselves with this practice. Why do we still have companies exit? Why is that? Why do we have companies like Nakumat, like I said, UTL, Crane Bank? Why do they exit? Why do they run bankrupt? Why do they have to arrive to wait until that time? Like, if the law should be able to, rehabilitate.
Well, thank you. You've already said it. The law is in place. There are even platforms in existence that companies and people can use, but still they get out of business. Why? Simple reasoning. The practices. You find the company is not able to adjust to corporate governance.
Okay.
So if you don't have corporate governance within your structures, it means you are not able to distinguish between, say, funds for the company and your own funds. You are not able to keep books of accounts, meaning even your tax obligations are not clear. Now, if your practices as a business are not clear, definitely you will not be able to be helped by the law. The law is in place, but it works by you making use of it. For instance, we have insolvency practitioners. Now, it's up to you, the owner of the business, to know where you are. It's like you are stepping in water. Step in the water and gauge where you are. If you feel you are getting drowned,
Okay.
then raise an alarm. Call for assistance. How does it come about? Come to our offices. We shall guide you on maybe show you a database for people who are registered as insolvency practitioners, from whom you can pick, and then they help you to manage your business. And here we are also trying to say that managing your business is interesting. You need to be alive to the fact that actually your business is irretrievable, or it is you can rehabilitate it, such that if you get an administrator, for instance, the administrator will come in to help you manage the entity, and gradually you clear your debts.
Now, I would like to pause you right there. They mentioned that insolvency should come in as a last resort. So what should I do first if I'm running low on accounting for my own?
Thank you. What the speaker was meaning is that don't rush to close your business.
Okay.
Closure should be the last resort. When things are not working out, start by trying to find how best you can restore confidence in your business. One of them is what I have already said, governance. If you didn't have structures in the organization, start by putting in the structures. Let there be audit.
Okay.
Let there be finance department. Let there be directors. I mean, let there be a distinction between ownership and management.
Yeah.
Let there be checks and balances. Now, when you put such things in place, most likely you will help your business to stay alive. In other words, don't rush to kill your business. Just because you have debts, you failed to pay your debts. Don't say now I am dead. It's like a patient. Just because you are coughing, you should not say that I am now dead.
You're not broke, like they said. Insolvency is not broke. You're not broke.
You are
so
not
you
broke.
Can, yeah.
You are simply not feeling well.
Yeah.
So rush to the hospital. This time, rush to URSB so that you can be taught the best practices. So some of them include management, others are skill development. You see, some businesses fail because they lack skills. And who lacks the skills? The owners, those who operate the businesses. So the focus should be, let there be proper governance, let there be skills, let there be other mechanisms like, I can give you a simple example. Everybody says, I am not doing well because I have no funds. You hear those stories of government should support us, government should do this. Well, government also has so many obligations. So when government is to help us, we also have to help ourselves.
But has government put in an enabling environment?
Yes.
Because they say that the biggest reason why these companies do not survive is because of the taxes.
No, the starting point is you, the owner of the business. Taxes, even from the days of the Bible says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So taxes will always be there, but before you pay tax, how are you managing your business such that your business grows and becomes even the best taxpayer? If you have seen, our colleagues in, I think URA have been having a program of the taxpayer of the year. They even get awards. So how do you become a taxpayer of the year? Simply by running your business well, adopt best practices, then you grow. You get? When you adopt the best practices, you grow. For instance, I was telling you about loans to grow business. People think of loans, then money from government, but actually there is money within the population, within the business people, what one would call equity. So sometimes if you cannot get a loan from a bank, if the money from the government is still on its way, you can actually get a colleague like you and me. We put money together.
You merge.
We merge our money. Good. For lack of a better word, let's merge our money. Let's put our money in one pot, and then we develop this business. Other than me having my 1,000 here, you have your 1,000 there, he has his 1,000, and none of us is growing.
So how many companies do you have listed on insolvency as per now?
Interestingly, we don't have necessarily a list of entities that they are struggling. No, these companies are they are out there in the world making a business. What I can assure you is that as an office that registers businesses also, URSB has a big register of entities. Some of them are registered as business names, others are registered as companies. I think when I combine them, they must be moving towards 1 million businesses registered.
That are in insolvency?
No, that are registered, that are in the market doing business. But you see, the ones which are in insolvency, not everybody says let me rush to insolvency. So you cannot have a list of 20, 30 who are in insolvency. Instead, you may have a few who have come to you and they have already appointed people to help them manage their affairs. These are the people we are calling insolvency practitioners. Those are very few. They are a handful. But our focus is not to have a register of so much. Our focus is to save as many as possible. You get? And that's why we are saying that the current trend is no longer about growth. The current trend is about what can you do to keep your business. Number one, proper management. You get? Manage your business well. Meaning have systems. Let there be the audit department. Let there be, you know how people talk of, say, a school, or even the government, how government runs. There is an auditor, there is finance.
About this?
They do. Ugandans
Are they aware?
Ugandans.
And by the way, the 70% of the business community, 70% are SMEs. And they are these small-holder businesses. They are not these corporate. So I'm worried for these SMEs because you said these are corporate companies that you're targeting.
No, we are not targeting them for the bad intentions. We are targeting them to help them grow. You get?
Okay.
To help them grow from small to big. You get? And actually, Ugandans are not necessarily, they don't lack knowledge. They have knowledge. They know that when you run things better, you get better results. That's why you see when you go downtown, you'll find so many businesses running. The only challenge may be that most of them are not maybe registered. So if they want to go to, say, a bank to look for a facility, maybe the bank may be saying, but who are you? Meaning they want to know whether you're registered.
Maybe
So people are there and they want to do business and they actually can do better. All they need is to keep hearing this information. Can they hear this message? You know the message about salvation. The more you tell people, the more they get saved. And that's what we are trying to do. Basically, our being here today is simply to tell people, our business communities, that you can survive in a business. Things can go wrong, but you can actually return back to normal. All you need is to have the right interventions. I talked about private equity. Yeah. We have so many in the business. Why can't we pool resources and then we develop our companies? It sounds a bit...
Does that include for these foreigners also?
You see,
do you think they are willing to merge?
Foreigners?
These ones that come and live.
I don't want to call them foreigners. I want to call them investors. Yeah. Maybe investors who are from outside Uganda. Yeah. They are not necessarily foreigners, but they are from outside Uganda. Why am I not saying that they are foreigners? Because I'm trying to say that they contribute to our economy. When they come to Uganda, the tax they pay helps us to build roads, hospitals. So the main point is that these non-Ugandans who have businesses here, they are able actually to even get local Ugandans and combine. You know, merging effort is not only on money. It could be that, an example, you could be having land where you come from, and the investor coming on board, who's not a Ugandan, wants space where to do business from. So for you are providing land, they are providing money. So you see the effort. Yeah. You have land, but you cannot do anything with it. They have money, but they can't do anything with it because they don't have land. So you are combining your effort to grow a business. So the foreigners can actually work with locals, and then we develop our economy.
Let's highlight the key aspects in the insolvency law and what Ugandans need to know to, use it to the best of their advantage and save them from bankruptcy, so that we'll stop hearing stories of liquidation and all.
Well, I would say that traditionally we have always talked about wind up these companies and close. Okay. So the law is now running away from that. The law is saying, before you close this company, before you declare it dead, why don't you try to say administer it possibly? What we call administration. Now, administration is aimed at keeping the company alive. And if you administer it very well, there are so high chances that the real business will be restored and the company will be restored and to get out of this process successfully.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert Mugabe, for the pleasure of your time. And I think one of the people there mentioned something about how people should regulate their wage bills and how they find a company is paying more than what they make. And you have highlighted something very important in the insolvency law about I beg your pardon, insolvency law about administration and, trying to rehabilitate these businesses to keep up and be brought back to their feet. Thank you so much again. And that's all we had for you in regards to the insolvency law and liquidation. Back to you in studio.